Hi everyone, it's Estey here with Paradiso Presents, and today I'd like to go over video marketing and blogging for your independent insurance agency. We just hosted a webinar just yesterday covering this subject, but our webinar actually capped our max registrants, so I wanted to have a recorded segment to supplement the webinar and shoot out to all of our agents and people who had registered for our webinar, but also for anyone else who's curious about learning about this subject as well online here. So without further ado, let's get started. I know that a lot of us as independent agency owners or marketing professionals may not have already taken the initiative to implement video marketing into their digital marketing strategy. At first glance, it could seem like it could require a lot of time or effort or even a lot of money to shell out. But there are low budget solutions to video marketing that are very time efficient, very easy to understand, and things like that. So if you're not sure about the power behind video marketing, I wanted to link you to this video below. And if you want to take a look at all the statistics and the data behind video marketing, I would encourage you to check it out. If you don't believe in video marketing, this should help convince you with this powerful form of engaging content. Moving along, before you hit record on setting up videos for your agency, there's a lot to think about. But the first and foremost, you want to think about your agency's brand, because your brand should be at the heart of all of your agency's digital marketing efforts. So you want to ask yourself a few questions just to set up your brand, a couple of which I've included on the screen here. So you want to ask yourself, what am I an expert on? What can I promise people that work with me? Just like we have our 12 Paradiso promises set up for Paradiso Insurance that we stick to with every customer that we have within our agency. And you also want to ask yourself, what is the core message I'm expressing here? Does my core message resonate with my customers and clients? Our core message of our brand being the American dream, as well as shopping local, shopping small, and shopping through an independent agent. Things like that are all messages we like to include. Then also ask yourself, when creating content, am I speaking to my target audience or the masses? Because both are powerful. If you think about it, you might have a marketing persona of Bill the Plumber. And Bill the Plumber would love to read a blog about avoiding claims as a plumbing company or business or things like that, whereas you could speak to the masses about a charity or a fundraiser that your agency was more involved in recently. Then you also want to ask yourself, how can I offer double the amount of value I offered last year to my customers, clients, and followers? And that's big because there's always room for improvement. So it's important to consider your brand, and I'd encourage you to reach out to me. We have a full set of branding questions, and I'd be more than happy to send them to you. My email will be included in the description for this video below. Moving on, more things to consider with our brand here, talking about video. First of all, you want to think about your image with your video, because your videos are, again, a very powerful form of content because they're visually engaging, but they need to visually represent your agency's brand. So you want to think about your image, if you're portrayed properly visually. You want to think about your message, because you need to ask yourself, is your video content in line with your brand personality? Speaking on you have to speak with the tone that your agency uses for communicating, and you have to preach the messages that your agency is pushing out on a regular basis. This all ties in with your brand, and your brand is very essential to all of your digital marketing, because without a brand, you won't be able to resonate with your audience. Think about it. If you hear "I'm loving it," don't you think of McDonald's right away? Your brand could have the same effect with your audience and keep them engaged the same way that these large-scale and big companies' brands have already done. Alright, let's talk a little bit about SEO. For those of us who aren't familiar, SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization, or how you rank with the search engines, most importantly Google. So you could be, number one on Google's list, or you might not hit the very first three and you might show up as the fifth one. But it's very important that this is an ongoing competition to get to the top of the list. So we have to optimize for search engines in order to beat out our competition for when someone's looking for our products or services online. So YouTube has a certain amount of SEO you want to think about. The first thing I want to mention is SERPs, standing for Search Engine Results Page. And I have a screenshot of a SERP right here on the right. So this is a SERP that includes YouTube results. Important to note that if you do have YouTube that is relevant for a search that's happening, so let's say we had a Flag Day insurance Connecticut search, this would be what would come up. But it's important to note that Google 100% owns all of YouTube now. So when there's YouTube content that's relevant to a search, it will show up in a SERP. So this is very important for your agency's SEO. Now let's also take a look at how we can SEO our videos properly, so that way they show up even further on the Google search. The first thing you'd have to take note of is your video's file name. And I've included a screenshot on what we're speaking about here on the right. So your video file name, this is when you're looking at recording your videos or saving them down, usually there's a file name that's automatically assigned to your video file. As you can see on the right here, you might see something that says video 435, a bunch of numbers, that sort of thing. Or you could take the time to rename your file name. And to do that, you'd simply right-click the video file and click on rename. But you want to use a name that's relevant to what you think your customers, clients, and or prospects will be searching for online. So if I think that someone's going to look for my insurance agency on Flag Day, I could name my file Paradiso Insurance Day, Flag Day BBQ Barbecue 2015. And that will show up much stronger in the search results than if you were to upload a file with a default file name like the one on the right. Even though you can change your video's titles on YouTube, it's important that before you start the upload, you rename your file name as well. Moving along, next we have some more YouTube SEO optimization tips. So first of all, I want to point your attention to the screenshot at the right hand of the screen. This screen is what you'll see when you're first uploading a video, or if you revisit a video to edit the information you originally gave when you uploaded it. So if you'd like to edit a video that's already living on YouTube, all you have to do is sign into your YouTube account, then visit the video on YouTube, and you'll see a small pencil underneath the video that says edit, and it'll bring you to this screen. So the first thing we want to focus on here is your video title. I personally suggest that you always include your agency's name within your video title. As you can see in our screenshot, I have the small vertical line to separate the video title from our agency's name, and then you see Paradiso Insurance right after, just so our audience knows that the content is coming from us. Now, your title, I would suggest that you keep your title under 70 characters. That's 70 letters and spaces total. The reason being is you're actually allowed to use up to 100, but if you use over 70, you'll see a little ... or an ellipses that kind of indicates that the rest of your title was cut off. So if you want to keep things a little more organized and look professional about it, keep them to 70 characters in length or under. Next, you want to look at your description, the middle box in our screenshot here. The description is a field that will allow you about 5,000 characters, for letters and spaces that you're allowed to type in this box. And usually what I do with our videos is I'll use 1 or 2 lines that briefly describe what the video is about. Then if there's any other corresponding links, if the video has a corresponding blog, or you'd like to link your agency's website or a certain landing page on your agency's website, this is great places for you to put that as well. But at the end of your description, I suggest that you always include all of your agency's basic and contact information, meaning you should have the name of your agency, your physical address, your phone number, and a primary email where your customers, clients, and prospects can reach out to you on. That way, if they're looking to get in touch with you, they can do it right here with the information they see in the YouTube's video description. And last but not least, your video's tags. These work a lot like hashtags. And in order to add tags, all you have to do is type in a word or phrase, it could be multiple words, and then hit comma or enter to separate your tags. And they'll show up in these little boxes like you can see in the screenshot I've supplied here. So the tags are what you want to use to make your YouTube video more discoverable for people searching for these tags. So if someone were essentially to write American flag or Paradiso Insurance, I've included both of those things within our tags. So if someone types them into YouTube, it'll make this video come up in the search results. The other thing that's important about these tags here, if you have ever been on YouTube, you'll notice that when you're watching your YouTube, you'll have your YouTube, and then also on the right you'll see a list of related videos. And with the tags, they kind of determine what related videos will show up on the right hand side while people are on your video. So if you consistently tag your agency's name and your agency's branded messages in keywords or phrases within your video tags, it's more than likely that your other videos from your agency will show up in the related videos. But I also include a few tags like business professional to make sure that no silly videos or joke videos or anything like that people upload to YouTube will show up in our related videos, just to keep things professional all around. Next up, I want to talk to you a little bit about Facebook video. Now, although YouTube is a great place to put your videos online, it's important to note that Facebook is a complete separate entity. Google 100% owns YouTube, which is great. Why it affects your Google SEO, and it's a great YouTube is a great place to upload and let your videos live online. But if you want to post them to Facebook, we actually suggest using Facebook's direct uploading service for all of your videos. And you can go about uploading a video just like you would upload a picture. All you'd have to do is go to the box on your company's YouTube page that says, post a status or update, and you can click on pictures and it'll allow you to select your videos, and then they'll live on your company's Facebook page like you can see in the screenshots I've included here. Now, I want to talk to you about a couple things with each of these screenshots really quick. First, let's take a look at the left one. This is a video that we put together for our partner program. And our partner program, long story short, is when we provide free marketing to the local businesses to promote shopping local and shopping here in Stafford Springs, Connecticut. And essentially what we do is we provide them with videos, visuals, blogs, and things like that. But we send them over to our partners, and then we allow them to share it to their networks. But basically, it's going to link back to Paradiso Insurance because we were the ones that originally uploaded it. So it's essentially free ROI for both of our businesses through the power of cross-marketing. But to show you what we did here to optimize our videos on Facebook, first what we did is we uploaded the videos like I mentioned to you earlier. Then what we did is we used relevant hashtags, a brief description of what the video is covering, and then we linked back to our partners page on paradisoinsurance.com, which links our agency's website to improve our traffic. And then what we did is for each partner that we featured in this small video, Shopping Small in Stafford Springs, we tagged their company. So American Woolen Company, and you see Rustology, Artisan's Corner. These are all companies that are in Stafford Springs, Connecticut. And by tagging their company's pages on Facebook, we're going to extend our reach to their networks as well. Next, let's take a look at this right screenshot here. This is a video that we uploaded directly to Facebook to advertise our agency's mobile app. Now, what we did that was different in this one is we included relevant links for downloads. And it's important that you want to think about, if you're trying to promote your app, you want to think about, giving a separate link for Apple and Google users. But then we just had a brief video talking about our app, and it was, it got a good amount of traction. And I want to talk to you really quick about traction on Facebook videos versus YouTube videos before we leave this slide. If you were to take a YouTube video and if you were to take a video and upload it to YouTube, then post the YouTube URL into Facebook, there's going to be a difference in how it displays and how it performs. You'll actually get much more engagement from uploading directly to Facebook. The reason is, when you scroll down, I'm sure you've seen on your Facebook feed before, if you're scrolling down, some videos will automatically just start playing instead of having a play button. The play button is the ones that were posted from an outside network, while the ones that will automatically play as soon as you get there are the videos that were directly uploaded to Facebook. Now, this is really, really great for video metrics because it's going to increase engagement. People will see better numbers and they'll be more apt to watch your videos. But also, if you take a look at either one of these screenshots, we also take the time to boost our videos or pay to play, where we have part of our marketing budget that's designated to boosting our posts online. And you can see there's a small bar that says, on the left screenshot, you can see that it reached 1,619 people, but then you see a light orange part of the bar and a dark orange part of the bar. The light orange represents our organic reach, or what we reached without paying to play. And the orange represents what we got from paying to play or using our advertising budget. And, we put a small amount of money into this video and it got to a much wider audience. So since we optimized our organic reach first by including the links, hashtags, tags, or anything else that was relevant to the post and directly uploading to Facebook, that actually helps our boost later on and gets us better metrics overall. Next, I want to talk to you about another way that we make the most of video on Facebook, and that's through the use of GIFs. Now, I've already put together an entire video on how to use GIFs, so I will link that right here for you, as well as, if you'd like, you can access that in the description below. But first, what we do here with the GIF, just to give you a brief rundown of GIFs, GIFs are essentially picture files that move. So they're almost like videos, but they don't include sound. So this is a GIF that we use in our social media marketing, which is part of our birthday campaign. Our birthday campaign, long story short, is when we connect with every one of our new clients and customers in the social world, primarily Facebook. And whenever we see that it's one of our customers or clients or even prospects' birthday online, we will send them this campaign directly to their Facebook. And what we do is first we say happy birthday, then we tag the person by using the @ symbol. So this is an example from Sarah Starks. And then we'll say from Paradiso Insurance and tag our agency as well. The reason we tag Sarah is because first, some of her network will see that we directly posted to her wall, but other members of her network will get a notification saying that she was tagged. So we're going to extend our reach that way. Then what we do is we tag our agency. The reason being is because you can't make direct wall posts to personal Facebooks, within your Facebook network using your company page. So we actually have to use Chris Paradiso's Facebook to make this post. So what we do is we say it's from Paradiso Insurance and tag our agency. That way our agency's Facebook page is still linked to this post at the end of the day. And then what we've done is we've used a link shortening service called Bitly to essentially post the YouTube link of our happy birthday from Paradiso Insurance video online. Now, this link shortening service has many advantages, to which I also go over in another video, which you can click on below here, and that link will also be available to access in the video's description below. Next up, we have making the most of video on Google+. Now, Google+ is a little simpler for optimizing your videos, so it's not quite as much to think about. First, all you'd have to do is, like we said, Google is in 100% ownership of YouTube. So all you'd have to do is upload your videos to YouTube first, copy the URL where your video lives on YouTube, then paste it into Google+, and it'll show up just like this. Very convenient, very easy to play. You can tap the play button from your smartphone or tablet, or just click the play button on your computer or Mac, and it won't even leave Google+. You can just play right there. And what you do is just give a brief description about what the video is featuring, and then include any relevant hashtags that are either relevant to your agency or the video's content. Similarly speaking, you can also make the most out of video on Twitter, and you essentially use the same strategy that you'd have going in for Google+. You just have to post a link. It shows up right there in the Twitter feed, just like you can see in the screenshot here. And then, of course, you are limited to 140 characters on Twitter, so you want to have a brief description about what the video is entailing, and include any relevant hashtags, of course, as well. I'm going to cut this out. Alright, moving along, next we actually have another interesting social network, Pinterest. And if your agency is not already on Pinterest, I would say you should definitely make the most of this social network. It's a very visually engaging social network, and one thing I always tell people about Pinterest is that people that use and engage Pinterest on a regular basis are more than 60% more likely to make a purchase online than users on other social networks. So let's take a look at optimizing our videos for uploading them to Pinterest as well. With Pinterest, what we do is first, when you go to click pin, you can add a pin by clicking the plus sign in the upper right hand corner, and the first thing Pinterest will do is ask you if you want to post from your device or post from a URL online. So we're going to select URL from online in this scenario because we already have our videos living on YouTube. Then what we'll do is we'll post the YouTube URL and click pin it to the board that we want to include our video on. Now, there's a little discrepancy with Pinterest. Certain options are only available after you've already pinned your content. Then you click the edit button that you can see in the top of the screenshot that I've included here. What this will allow you to do, once you click on edit, you can include your location and your company's website to pins that you create. So what we do is we tag Paradiso Insurance, and that will include our physical address and our agency's phone number on all of our pins. And then what we do is we add our website to the pin as well, being paradisoinsurance.com. That way, if anyone clicks on our pin, it'll take them right to our website as well. Then, of course, when you're all finished with adding your agency's actual physical address and website address as well, what you can do is give a brief description on what your video is about, and of course include relevant hashtags, just like the other social networks. One thing I would like to mention though is the power behind Pinterest here. The thing about Pinterest is 80% of the users on Pinterest don't create original content. They're doing what's called repinning, or sharing the content to their network. And Pinterest is a very share-heavy network. So when you have established a network on Pinterest, you will get a lot more shares for all of your agency's content, but the more your pins are shared around Pinterest, the more your agency's information will be passed around, because we've taken the time to link our agency's physical address, phone number, and our website. So you'll be looking at a lot more traction overall. Alright, next up we have making the most of video within your email marketing campaigns. This is a little bit interesting, and there's several points to this strategy I'd like to address on this screenshot here. So this is a simple send out that we did for the Declaration of Independence, in other words, where one of our agents had read the Declaration of Independence, but a little bit simplified for people to understand a little easier. So essentially what we did with this email send out is first, you have the YouTube video sitting at the top of the email. Now this isn't actually a link to the video because we can't make it so that way videos play right within the body of an email message. But what I did with this link instead is this is actually a picture that I took. I took a screenshot of our video, and then I took it into Photoshop, and I edited it to have the play button from YouTube sitting right on top of the picture. That way people think it's a clickable video and will want to play it right in the message. But essentially, they're not going to be let down by that, because it'll bring them right to the YouTube link as soon as they click it. Because what I've done is, once I inserted this picture into the campaign, I highlighted it and selected I had the YouTube URL of where our video lives on YouTube copied, and I pasted it as an embedded link within this picture. So that way, if people click it, it brings them right to our video on YouTube. Then after that, we had a brief message that went with the video. We wanted to have a few sentences describing what's it about and why we're reaching out to our prospects and or customers. And then we say, from your friends at Paradiso Insurance. And you'll notice that in the screenshot, Paradiso Insurance is blue. That's because we have embedded our website URL into that text. It's a clickable link that brings them right to paradisoinsurance.com. And then after that, we have our promises page. You can read our promise right online by clicking the stamp there, and then all of our corresponding social media networks. It's important to include those in case your customers want to connect with you online. Now, at this part of the webinar, I actually take the time to go over a few examples with using a free service called Animoto. Animoto does have some paid for subscriptions that are highly beneficial, but I've actually put together a video, as I mentioned earlier, talking about using GIFs in marketing. But during the first half of that video, I go over how to use Animoto and show you examples hands-on. So if you want to visit that video, you can click it below, but I'll also include that in the video's description for this video as well. Alright, moving on here. Our next part of our webinar was featuring agency blogging, where we give tips on how you can optimize your blog online to get the most traction to your agency's website. Now, some of you may not have a blog in place, and that's okay, but there's no time like the present. Let's go over what a blog is. First of all, it's a page on your website with a short, article or a reading, and it's basically where you can publish content in a chronological order, like I mentioned on the slide here. But you need to update it regularly, and readers can leave comments as well, because giving your readers the power to engage is very important. Sometimes they'll have something they want to say, share an opinion, or what have you, and it also gives you a chance to respond to their opinions to show that you're listening. So blogs are incredibly important for your agency's website because they will give you a serious amount of traction. And I just want to go over why really quick before we go into the how-to behind blogging strategy. So the reason your agency should have a blog is because it allows you to communicate and integrate with your customers and interact with them and with your target audience. It allows you to establish your brand stronger because as many of us know, the stronger your brand, the more your content will resonate with your audience. It also allows you to improve SEO. Reason being is because every time you create a blog, it actually adds a new page to your agency's website. So now you have more indexed pages on your agency's website. So we could have an agency that has maybe 30 web pages total, or an agency that's been blogging for 3 years and has 1,500 web pages total, which Google takes note of that. But it's important that your blogs are still authentic. Now, you're not trying to cheat the process because Google will catch on to that too. So the last reason is it'll allow you to establish trust with your customers, clients, and other members of your audience. The reason is we tell our customers all the time, we're not just an insurance agency. We're here to help you. And our blog is one way we supplement helpful, useful information or tips, things of that nature for our audience. So that way they'll be more apt to connect with us online. Now, let's go over some of the statistics behind blogging before we get into the how-to here. Business-to-business marketers that use blogs receive 67% more leads than those that don't. Marketers who have prioritized blogging are 13 times more likely to enjoy positive ROI. By 2020, customers will manage 85% of their relationships without talking to a human, meaning the millennials and the up-and-coming generation will be more appreciative that you have more digital marketing content out there in the digital world. And the only thing blogging costs you is your time, so it's free ROI. Companies who blog receive 97% more links to their website because they have other people in their audience backlinking their website. And blogs have been rated as the 5th most trusted source for accurate information online. I know it's surprising, but you're building trust. Okay, now let's go to the how-to, the strategy behind crafting a successful agency blog. First things you have to consider is you have to ask yourself, who is my target audience? What time of the year is it? And what will be our main subjects? These are all factors that will tie into the main subject or topic or focus of your agency's blog. And these are something that you should think about every time your agency is writing a blog, whether it's yourself or one of your in-house marketing professionals, or if you're outsourcing your blogging work to an outsourced company. But I wouldn't recommend that as our first pick. So here's an example that we did in-house with Paradiso Insurance for these simple questions we were asking ourselves. So our first question was, who is my target audience? So what we came up with in our example is families with an income of $75,000 annual salary combined, homeowners, and usually the decision maker is the mother. Next, what time of year is it? So for this example, the time of year would be winter. We're going to review some of our agency's winter blog posts and how we came up with them. So the time of year for this would be winter. And our last question was, what will be our main subjects? And so our subjects for this rotation, so to speak, for this time of the year for our blog would be home insurance, auto insurance, and snowmobile insurance. Then we have some holidays that come up, such as Christmas, New Year's, and Valentine's Day towards the end of the winter. And then our brand, we want to talk about customer appreciation and charity. So after we decided that, let's see what our agency came up with. So first we have our blogs that tie into our insurance topics. So we came up with 4 tips for getting your car unstuck, what you need to know about snowmobile insurance, preventing ice dams, and how to prevent frozen pipes to prepare for the winter. And these are all just simple tips or tricks that will help out our customers, clients, and prospects from either getting the right insurance they need or avoiding insurance claims as a whole. Next, we have the blogs that tie into our holidays. So first, our holiday was the first holiday blog we decided to feature was how to stick to your New Year's resolutions. Then we had 4 reasons to shop small this holiday season, since part of our brand is shopping small and shopping local, so that also tied into our brand. Then we also had the gift of a lifetime for Valentine's Day, a blog that we had featured that spoke about life insurance, but we used a little bit of wordplay to tie it back into Valentine's Day and talk about the benefits of it as a whole. Then we had blogs that specifically tied into our brand. One of them that focused on customer appreciation, and one of them that focused on charities and things like that. So we had one saying getting to know our customers, and we had a Denim in December blog that talked about our Denim in December campaign, where all of our agency staff members and employees were invited to wear jeans to work, but they would have to donate a little bit of money each day that they did, and all of the proceeds went straight to charity. So we talked about all the details of our charity within that blog. Next, let's talk about some SEO tips you want to keep in mind when you're crafting your agency's blog. First of all, you have to use keywords. Keywords being certain words or phrases that are the focus of your blog, or they could be the focus of your agency's work. So insurance would definitely be a keyword for all of us here. Life insurance could be a specific keyword for this Valentine's Day gift of a lifetime blog, and things like that. Anything that's relevant to the content or relevant to your agency could be considered a keyword. You don't want to spam them. Just use them naturally in the body of your writing when it seems appropriate to do so. Next up, we have, how often should I blog? How many blogs should I have? The thing is you need to commit to blogging a certain amount of times per week and on the same days per week. It needs to have some consistency because your SEO does depend on it. The reason is when you blog consistently and regularly, you're setting up your audience to expect you to blog on those days and times. So you'll get more engagement because your raving fans of your agency, or the customers that appreciate your agency the most, are going to be the ones that stick to reading your agency's blog. So you have to have it at a certain day and time so they know when to visit your website. So your raving fans know how to share your content or when to find the latest posts. And blogs should ideally be 500 or more words. If not, then Google will know that you didn't provide enough content for the blog to be considered relevant, and it may affect your SEO online. So we have a few helpful tips to think about when you're blogging. If you're having trouble coming up with topics, one thing you might want to do is actually take a look at other insurance agencies' blogs at the same time of year and see what they're blogging about, and it might give you an idea. You might not blog about the same topics that they are talking about in their agency's blog, or you may. But either way, I'm sure you'll get some new ideas from taking a look around. But be sure, if you get ideas from any other blogs or forms of writing online, absolutely do not plagiarize because you will get your agency in a serious amount of trouble. Be sure that everything you post is original. You can use these blogs and information, of course, to supplement your writing, but be sure to reword everything and make sure it's all your own original work. Now, to find you also want to use visual content marketing in all of your blogs. You should have visual content in the body of most of them, if not all of them, and of course a blog cover, which will be a visual that should be branded for your agency. I'd like to go back to our blog covers really quick. You can see that these are branded to Paradiso Insurance. They have our design elements, our branded fonts, and our logo, and even filters that we use as part of our visual branding guidelines. If you don't have any sort of visual branding guidelines in place, I would highly suggest talking to an outsourced branding professional like we do here at our agency. And if you're looking for a branding professional, please feel free to give me an email and I could give you some suggestions myself. Back to where we are though. So if you need to use commercially legal visuals in your blog, it's important that I stress commercially legal, because if you're just Google searching pictures to use in your blog, they may not be commercially legal, and that could get you into some trouble as well. So where we get our commercially legal visual content from is these two websites here on the screen, unsplash.com and pixabay.com. Everything is commercially legal, and you can feel free to use any pictures or edit any pictures from those websites to include in your agency's blog. And last but not least, if you want, you can try to take on some designing yourself and take a look at this website called picmonkey.com. It's a free design service. It walks you through with a tutorial and things like that. And it's very easy to use for our more basic designers out there. Other than that, we're going to have some exciting new stuff coming up. We have 2 more webinars coming up in the near future from the time that I made this video. I will include both of the registration links in the YouTube's description below. And if you're accessing this from a mobile device, just feel free to take a look at this video on your PC. You'll be able to register for those webinars if you'd like, coming up here right from your PC. They're absolutely free for you and your agency, and we do not have a limit coming up. We did have a limit this past webinar, and I apologize, which is why we put together this recorded segment. But coming up, I can reassure we will have no limits on our registrations, so please feel free to join us. We hope to see you there, myself and Chris Paradiso. And if you want to stay connected with us here at Paradiso Presents, feel free to look us up on Twitter and Facebook. I have all the details on the screen for you there. Until next time, happy marketing, agents.